Hello friends, and once again welcome to BISPsolution.com. My name is Amit, and today we are going to see another interesting example of Oracle planning. In today's example, we'll be discussing capital expense module. Uh, Under assumption, we have an option to perform an adjustments. Since it is a predefined template and you do not have a provision to customize it, I've written the entire rule from the ground up, and the same rule I'm going to explain it to you. So it is assume you understand capital expense planning and you have configured it. Under this application, under assumption, we have an option to define capital expenses, and capital expense are driver based, so they are percentage. So on the rows, I have different types of asset class, and there are types of expenses which are broadly classified as repair, maintenance, insurance, taxes. What we want to do it when I right click on this, suppose I want my building expenses to be increased by 5% from current year to next year. I right click over here and perform assign driver 5% and whatever percentage it is. So you select source here, which is FY 2023 in this case. Target year is FY 24. And this is a smart list which has two value add and subtract. I can select one of the value and the value you want to increase by. Let's say I want to increase the value by 12%. So FY 23 12% equals to FY 24. Let's launch it and see how it works. So this is a driver draw call successfully 12 plus 3 15%. So for FY23 repair is 3% increase by 12%. FY24 repair become 15%. How to write this business rule? Let's see. So the same rule I have written into my Excel sheet, and I'm going to show it to you how this rule is going to be executed. Okay. So this sample rule exists over here. I mean the rule, the one I have written. Okay. The first thing I always do before writing a rule, I create a smart list template, a smart list, so that I know for what calculation I'm going to perform. I suppose know the intersection for which the calculation to be performed. In this example, for the sake of simplicity, I confine the entire calculation for one asset class called building. I'm keep marking it over here what I put in my fixed expression. First is building, second one is OCX global. This is basically a kind of assumption. Then I apply fixed expression of plan, working, sales US, which is an entity, and descendant of tangible expense driver. So these are the children of OCX tangible expense drivers, right? These are the children of it. So it means my calculation to be performed for the given intersection. I use tangible expense driver and intangible expense driver. This calculation is not for a specific currency, so I put no currency and no project. Isn't it? No currency and no project. So whatever I've chosen over here, this is the intersection. For the given intersection, the calculation likely to be performed. I put a fixed expression on top of that. Then I want to create a block on the fly, so I use an expression create non-missing block on, and I want the create block to be created on equation, right? Now, since when I run this rule, you see carefully, I have written this business rule. It gives me an option to select a value from the smart list, and the smart list has two value, add and subtract. I like to use, and the value of these smart lists assigned to a variable, right? So this is my user defined business rule, right? It is asking me add and subtract. So when you use add and subtract, basically I apply this as an expression. So I'm going to use it. The name of the variable is increment option, which has one of these two values, add and subtract. One means add, two means subtract, right? Increment option is a variable, and I created this variable under variable designer, and the type of variable is integer with a smart list as a value. So this variable I already created called incremental option. Let's see. So under this we have, let me locate it, increment option, right? This is numeric and this is smart list type. So I have created one smartly with just two simple value, add and subtract. The name of smart list OCX arithmetic operation. I use system defined smartly. You could use your smart list as well. So here I'm testing the value of the variable is 1 if increment option variable value, which is defined under curly braces, his value is 1. It means if it is add, the system is going to take the intersection of beginning balance. This is beginning balance. Here I have written current year is another substitution variable, and the value of current year is defined as FY23. So intersection of current year, I mark with yellow color. Intersection of current year, this is beginning balance, which is assumption. It's actually an alias name. This value for current year, it means this value to be added with value variable. So there's another variable created called value, which is numeric type variable value. So whatever value you manually input, system is going to assign this to a variable called value, and it is increase and decrease by the value. This is numeric percent type variable, isn't it? So when you run this rule, it asks you how much you want to increase this value by how much percentage, right? So whatever value it is increased by X percentage, this value is assigned to target year, which is again another variable. So in my case, target year is FY24. This apply 1 for add and 2 for subtract. So if it is subtract, I'm going to minus it, not add it, minus it. But I also apply one more condition over here. Subtraction should take place only for positive numbers. So I apply the value, it's supposed to be greater than 0. One more expression I use, right? So let's see once again this business rule. I'm going to run it through. I already validated this rule, and it doesn't have any error, and deploy this. So you can save and validate this rule. No error. It is asking you target year FY24 and value. I want this value to be increased by X percent. Let's say increase by 15%, isn't it? So validate. Validation should have passed. Yes, it is passed. And then I'm going to run it through. See this old value, and I'm going to run this through now. So let's run it. Calculate business rule. Name of my rule is yes. This is the name of my rule is adjustment driver value. Select add or subtract. I select add. Target year is FY24, or rather I use subtract, or let it be add only. Condition first is true, and the value I want the value to be increased by 2%. It's a percent type, right? So current it is FY23 plus 2% assigned 24. 2 plus 2 4%, right? So the rule gets launched, and when you refresh it, 2 plus 2% 4%. The value is being increased by X percentage. So uh, this is my output, and this is my business rule. Current year intersection with beginning balance plus value to be assigned to target year. 1 for add and 2 for subtract. If I select 2, system is going to subtract it. If I use 1, system is going to add it, right? So this is one simple case, and as you go on, I'll be talking about more advanced business rule associated with your capital access planning. So that's it for today. Should you have any question, please feel free to write to bispsolutions.com.